Yeah, needless to say, a disappointing loss for our football team. Fans were great today, great crowd, and a tough way for 16 outstanding seniors to go out and finish up in Kennet. Certainly we wanted to get the win for a lot of reasons, but that was one of them. Sending those guys off in good fashion. They've done a great job throughout their entire careers here, and on the field, off the field, in the classroom. They've done a really good ass. So really good group of guys, but certainly disappointing outcome. Like last week, I think we played hard. I think both teams competed really hard out there, and fought and competed. And obviously today we just didn't make enough plays to win, and made too many bad plays. It makes it really tough to win on top of it. So it's kind of the story of the game.
Coach, did you feel like the game got away in the first half in the sense that you had it first and goal inside the 10 3 times, you came away with 2 turnovers and 1 field goal? That was...
Yeah, anytime. The turnovers were the obvious story. The first half, 4 turnovers. And then, one got negated with John Loudermilk's pick 6. But, you turn the ball over anytime, and we have not done a good enough job this year overall in that category. If I was going to point to one thing, that's where I'd start. So that got amplified today, and, there's no one reason for that other than we just, they're all costly, and anytime you're in there with the chance to get points, you certainly want to come away with points.
Did you sense that you tried to get a few more points in the first half and then a turnover in the fourth one, and then they scored? Did you feel that maybe that gave their offense some juice that they had?
Well, yeah, really up to that point they hadn't done much. Our defense was really playing well, and we dropped a receiver on that possession. I think it was 3rd down, I'm not sure exactly, but so that kind of came back and bit us there. But yeah, if we could have gotten out of there, I'm going to say as bad as we were playing, because that wasn't the case, but as unclean as we were playing in that first half, to be up 10-0 would have been great.
And you had it to 24-7 too.
Yeah, we had our opportunities, no question about that. But the 2 things that really cost us today were the turnovers, and then errors or misgivings in the special teams area. And I'm not going to say it came as a surprise. We thought that returner was as dangerous of the guys we've seen this season, so we knew that part about it. I had great respect for him, but we just didn't punt and cover well enough, especially on those two opportunities.
Were you cognizant of trying to punt it away from him, or just punt it?
Yeah, we had a plan. It didn't exactly work the way we hoped, and then you got to get down there and cover too, and you got to disrupt him. Can't let him get started upfield, which on those 2 he got a quick start and got going, and so again, it's fundamental football, and if you don't do that well enough, it's with a player like that, you're going to pay for it.
Why did the offense freeze up in the second half?
That's football. There's ebb and flow. You could probably ask the same thing about their offense in the first half up until the last drive. So that's football. It goes back and forth, and fortunately we were able to get it going again and get back there and score to get to 28 or 31, whatever it was on those track.
Kirk, in Chicago in July, you were pretty optimistic, and your players were talking about winning a division and so forth. It's 7-5, a little hard to fathom right now. Yeah,
I'm not going to get too global in my thoughts, but I'll say this: we felt. I've really felt like since 2001, just in broad sweeping statements. For the most part, we're going to have an opportunity to compete for the championship. That's our goal. We're not going to back down from that. That'd be ridiculous. But I think, as we all know, there's a lot of twists and turns that go in any season. I'd love to know how many people wrote down in August that Minnesota would have 8 wins right now. That doesn't surprise me. I thought they're a veteran ball club, well coached, and they're playing very well. I don't know how many people had Maryland down for 7 wins at this time. But that didn't surprise me either. Do some research. They're a well-coached team, a very veteran team. So my point there is that there's a lot of teams competing in our conference on both sides. I don't think that other division's panning out quite the way everybody thought it was going to. But that's football. You never know what's going to happen. You take it week at a time, and circumstances change. Your team changes, injuries, all those things that can take place. So it makes it interesting. It's sports. But hey, when the season is over, we got one more game. We'll evaluate everything, and then talk about that stuff at that point.
When this happens in the last game, does the sting last longer? I know you've got hit recruiting trail, you get ready for a bowl game.
Yeah, it's like losing a bowl game. I mean, there's nothing to move you on to the next one. And one thing about last week, at least, we had to move faster than we normally do, because the week started on Monday instead of Tuesday with the team. So Yeah, it'll linger, but, we'll, big thing is we gotta get back up on our feet and, figure out how to win our 8th game.
What's it buy into now? You guys lost all rivalry games this year. 7-5 after expectations were a little higher than that.
Yeah,
What do people have
I
divided?
just kind of addressed the expectation stuff, but, we lost 5 ball games. Each one's a different story. And, I'm not gonna sit here tonight and just dissect it. I'll talk about today's game. But I will say again, there's no way to predict this stuff in August, how it's gonna go. You practice as well as you can, you prepare as well as you can, you coach as hard, play as hard. And, all I know is, we came up short last week, we came up short today. Against 2 teams I think are pretty good teams, and I think, both teams competed hard last week and this week. And that's football. The week before that, we won.
Kirk, did your team mentally let down in the second half when you were up 24-7?
Yeah, I can't read minds, but, the third quarter didn't go great for us, sure. But, we battled back. They took the lead, we battled back. It was a good football game. 2 teams competing, and, I don't know what everybody was thinking, but I didn't see anybody quit out there.
Well, the big plays, or a lot of cases are part of that.
I think probably the 2 biggest plays were the punt returns, and we probably didn't punt the ball well enough and certainly didn't cover well enough. So I don't think anybody let down. It was just a really good player, making 2 good plays, and we weren't up to taking him on. He's not doing it himself, but he's a really good punt returner. I think the statistics, those are earned. Stats mean something right now in November.
How do you let a game like this go when there are so many plays that if one play maybe would have gone differently, the outcome?
I could say the same about last week, and you gotta let it go, and you gotta move on to what's, you gotta live in the present, and you gotta correct and teach and all that stuff. It's part of what coaches do. Teachers do the same thing, but at some point you gotta move forward too. And we got an opportunity to win one more game, get our eighth win, and that's what we'll focus on whenever we get back together.
What about this season? Is there anything about this season that you would call satisfying, redeeming?
Yeah, it's a great group of players we got. I mean, they're working hard. They've worked hard. And these seniors, 16 seniors, embody that since January when they became seniors. They've been great. To work with, their attitude's been good. Their work ethic is good. And I'd say that about our whole football team. They've done a really good job in basically all regards. But we've come up short in some games.
In the overtime, there was a disputed play, I guess you could say, where it looked like Doozy was maybe held before the ball got there. What was your view of the play?
I really couldn't see it when it took place. I did see the replay, and it's probably a discussion, but it doesn't really matter at this point.
With Jake's performance in the last week, he was excellent in the second half. This week, a little sketchier. I mean, what did you feel like you got out of your quarterback this year, and what's kind of right now the balance between C.J. Beathard and Jake Rudock at quarterback?
Jake's our starter. C.J.'s a great number 2. I've said that, and just like football ebbs and flows, and it's the same way with individuals' performances at all positions. Quarterbacks get scrutinized because they're quarterbacks, but most players have ups and downs and have bad plays and what have you. And Jake certainly has had a few too, but I thought he played really well. And you could go down the list. We had a lot of guys who really played well. Was there ever any consideration of putting C.J. Beathard in the game today? Yes. Not that I'm aware of. We never talked about it.
A few moments ago, you said, and I'm going to have to paraphrase,
Sure.
that since 2001, the state goal was to compete for championships.
Yep.
You feel you're very close?
You never know. I'll go backtrack for a second here. Go back to last week. That was an outstanding football team. In my opinion, an outstanding football team we played. Who knows what will happen with them tomorrow. So, it's probably a little closer than everybody thinks, but it's there's also distance in there. And, the years we have won it, things really have to fall right. We have to really gel. I know this, we have to protect the football. Both the championship season, we did a good job on turnover takeaway ratios, and special teams really helped us. So, we got a lot of room to improve in those regards. I'm not happy with our turnover takeaway ratio by any stretch. That's the first thing I'd bring up. If I were to critique our team, which I really don't want to spend tonight doing that, but it's kind of football 101. So that's an area we got to shore up here in the next month to start with, and then moving forward, that'll be on the list.